I just want to acknowledge something to myself that I have acknowledged before, but it just feels like it's worth reinstating today. Reinstating, whatever. And that is, when I feel like shit, when I feel so wickedly, deeply depressed, when I am languishing in anguish, as I have felt today, I'm recognizing and I'm just being honest and honoring a truth that I have noticed in myself, and that is, I don't want to feel better. And there are sensations of shame that happen around that. But there is this stubbornness, and I'm not going to try to call it right or wrong, or even label it as ego or not. I don't know. Maybe it is. But does that even really matter? If I'm in an experience where I'm feeling something like what I was feeling today, which is this raging against existing, this feeling like existing is exhausting and torturous. Like there's no pleasure, there's no joy to be found. That simply existing is burdensome, and I'm aware that it has to do with me and not what is. It's nothing to do with circumstances. It's not where I am. It's something that's happening inside of me. It's just something that overtakes me. This feeling, this darkness, this feeling of not wanting to exist, of being so utterly miserable. This feeling in me, because I recognize that it is not the whole of me. I can see that. I am experiencing it. It isn't the whole of me, it is just happening within me. But there is this voice that says, I don't want to be. I don't want to be anymore. I don't want to be at all. It says it's more than I want to die. It's I want to cease existing. That's what it says. This thing that is so wretchedly miserable, that finds existing to be so torturous and just awful, that it wants to be destroyed. And that's a hard thing to admit to. I feel a guilt every time that I feel it. I feel a fear every time. It's happened before. No doubt it'll happen again. It's happening now. There is a fear that the darkness will swallow me entirely. by that, I mean largely that it will blind me. Mostly that it will blind me, that it will obscure my vision. But the other thing that I know and have noticed is I cannot be fully present when it is here without including it, without being present with it. If I am trying to deny it as a part of the present moment, then I'm not present. If I want to be here, if I want to be experiencing everything, things like sunlight and warmth and things like my wife, then I have to be here with the depression. The darkness has to be acknowledged. It has to be invited as a part of the fullness of this present moment. And I know that when I do that, something does shift a little bit. It doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't get any brighter, but it does somehow feel a little bit less heavy, a little less all-consuming. That just really fully admitting to what I am feeling, acknowledging it, and even more so, being witnessed by another person in it. There is something that happens where the experience becomes very real and very present in a different kind of way, and it just sort of settles. The agitation lessens a bit, and it just is what is. And so the depression is here, and I am here. And there's no trying to escape it, or change it, get around it, or out from it. It's just here. And I know, too, that I feel a strange sort of protectiveness over that. I don't know if I would call it pride, although that's certainly possible. It feels a little bit more feral. And again, this could certainly be entirely an attachment manufactured by ego. I won't deny that. But I feel, again, does that really matter? I'm simply noticing what I'm experiencing and allowing it to be. And I'm acknowledging that there is a desire for pain. There's a desire for suffering. I would call this abject suffering. This is something a little bit other than pain, a little bit more than pain. This is a tension that has a revulsion coiled within it. This is a sort of loathing that touches everything. It is self-focused. It does spring from this place that says something must be very wrong with me to be experiencing this. And that's where I wonder if perhaps it is ego that has a sense of identity in the wrongness. It feels perhaps special in the extent to which it calls itself broken. To say that it is so broken, and it knows it is so broken that it will never be happy anywhere. And so it simply wants to be destroyed. most likely. But there feels like something else, I don't know, something more underneath. Perhaps that which is experiencing a self-loathing that can only be created by ego and is actually appreciating it, actually is wanting to have this experience, is aware that this is a sensation that has been created by a mind-made self calling itself extraordinarily wrong, extraordinarily broken. But there's something, it feels like something deeper in me that just wants to feel this. And at any suggestion of, well, here's how you can maybe feel better, it snarls and says, I don't want to feel better. There isn't better feeling and worse feeling. There is this feeling, there are other feelings, but why should this one be excluded? Why should this one be diminished and avoided? Why should this one be escaped? And so it rejects the offers of help, any suggestions of how to get out of it, perhaps prevent it in the future. The things that go through my mind, the various things that I have heard, the coping mechanisms that I have tried. And it just feels angry. It feels angry at the suggestion. It's an anger that says, what is wrong with this? What is wrong with me now? What is so wrong with this experience that anyone would suggest that it should be prevented? Yes, it's intense. Yes, it's frightening. Again, what is wrong with any of that? It seems to bristle at the apparent suggestion of its wrongness, of its unwantedness. Even though the very voice and the very sensation that it creates are one of turbulent rejection. And the voice is saying, I hate this feeling. I hate everything that is creating this feeling. And yet there is this awareness within that says, I want to feel this. I want to feel this, and I will not let you take it away from me. I do not want any of your suggestions because all of them feel to me like numbing, ultimately, or some sort of escape. Even the suggestion of practices that might simply diffuse the feeling, that might keep it from coming back. There's something that says the when it wants to come. And whatever is being felt in this moment is exactly right for this moment. It is perfect. And I don't want to change the feeling that is coming in any given moment. To call any of them undesirable. Uncomfortable, sure. Challenging, absolutely. Undesirable. Simply doesn't feel true. So I am just acknowledging once more in myself that I am aware there is a desire for suffering. And instead of calling that a mistake or a malfunction or in some way some error that should be corrected, I am including this desire for suffering in the perfection of being, which I am. Why would that desire be there if we didn't want it to be? Why indeed would the mind exist? Why would it be capable of confusion and obfuscation and deception and creating even such torment within ourselves if we didn't want that to be so? We are everything. Everything that is because it is allowed. Being of infinite experience, why would we ask for, why would we create, why would we experience anything that we didn't want to experience? Why should any of that desire be shamed? Why should a desire to experience suffering be treated any differently from a desire to experience joy? And how could it be treated differently without judgment there? If a desire for suffering is seen as faulty or wrong, a mistake, a confusion of the mind, why would we have allowed it in the first place? Isn't it clearly something that at some level is desired to experience? I don't mean constant suffering, I don't mean forever suffering, but just suffering, just to experience it in whatever way that we do. I don't know. I know less and less. I know less and fucking less these days. I started out knowing so much, and now I know nothing. Except what I experienced. And that appears to be a desire for suffering. So, there it is. That's all I got. Take it easy.